Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Yes, the summer of 2024, I took my 15-year-old son to hike the entirety of the John Muir Trail. Now this wasn't about the miles, this wasn't about the views. This was about something a lot more deeper. Connection, challenges, and a memory that we will have for the rest of our lives. So here is why I took my son on a 2-week hike through the Sierra Nevada mountains of California and how it changed both of us. So this is a little bit different than any of the other videos I've done up to this point in time. But I think the JMT is a tremendous trail. And the opportunity to really do that with a child, especially a teenager, is just something that couldn't be passed up. And I hope in some way that this maybe motivates you or give you an idea of doing something with one of your children. It doesn't have to be the JMT. It can be an overnighter. It can be a 2 or 3 nighter. Or if the JMT is an option, that would be great too. But let me go into a little bit of our story and where this idea came from. So I don't know about you, but life is just fast. And before you know it, your kids are another year older and they're moving into another phase of their life. And with the chaoticness of our world today, with technology, with phones, the internet, social media, everything out there, it feels like time speeds up. It feels like our kids are getting older, maybe before they should. And I wanted an opportunity to spend some time with my oldest. In our family, I have tried to take every kid on a trip of their choice around the time that they're 10 years old. And I'm realizing now that might be a little bit young, as we've never done it at the 10-year age. It's always been years later. But this was my oldest son's 10-year trip when he was 15 years old. This was an opportunity to spend time with him one-on-one over 2 weeks in some of the most beautiful country in the world, with no distractions, all day to talk, and just the opportunity to bond through shared challenges and struggles. I wanted to do something that was just going to slow us down, where we could just focus together on the time. And so the John Muir Trail really felt like an opportunity for that. Didn't feel like it was too crazy, although I know it is a challenging trail, but it didn't feel like it was just a quick overnight thing that was just maybe not have the same effect, the same memories. So this kind of felt like it was the right kind of hard and the perfect opportunity. So the challenge. This is a challenging trail. I think my Garmin watch clocked us in at around 235, 240 miles, probably a little bit off there, but we did have some of the side trails that we did, Half Dome and in Tourette's Meadow into VVR and down off of Whitney. Over 52,000 feet of elevation gain, over 500,000 steps. And there was a lot of challenges from day 1 to day 14 on this trail. We experienced hotter than normal weather. We experienced thunderstorms going over Forester Pass. We experienced elevation, not sickness, but bloody noses, feeling like fainting was gonna happen. You know, there's just a lot that happens on the trail. But in those challenges, and in those hard moments is where a lot of that connection and relationship builds. I saw this firsthand as an officer in the Army in an airborne infantry unit, in a Ranger Regiment unit. When people and teams, and in this case my son and I, go through shared challenges and hardships, that typically forms a stronger and a closer bond and a connection. And I was so grateful for the challenges that we faced. Some of those included 18.8 miles and 8,200 feet of elevation gain on the first day. Slight miscalculation on my part. Another was just the very hot and exposed weather as we were coming into Red's Meadow on July 4th. We were making really fast time. I think we got into Red's Meadow at 1:30 p.m. and had done 19 miles. 2 additional miles than we should have done because I took us down the wrong trail. That was a hot and a hard day. And I think the only time on the entire trail where my son had a bit of a hard time and had a little bit of a complaint coming. Other than that, he did tremendous. We had a hard time on Pinchot Pass for one reason or the other. I don't think there's anything specifically hard about Pinchot Pass. We did 2 passes that day, but that's somewhat typical, a Mather and a Pinchot Pass in the same day. But the elevation hit, bloody nose happened with my son, felt like he was going to faint. We had to sit him down. And then as a father, I'm worried, oh my, we've got Forester Pass still coming up, which is taller. We've got Mount Whitney, which is coming up, which is even taller. Are we gonna be okay? I know we can bail up out of Kearsarge Pass if we need to, but that's gonna be like tomorrow. And outside of that, it's not gonna be until Whitney. And so all these kind of doubts and insecurities kind of creep in. So those were some of the things that I was facing and that he was facing physically in some points of the trail as well. But those challenges really helped us come together, and I think they really helped us recognize how resilient that we are. So somewhere in between the blisters, the bloody noses, and the backaches, we had some really connecting moments and conversations around resiliency, around our future, around some of the things that he's interested in and where his life might be taking him, and how we can work on those things and do that together. But these were connecting moments that were very important for both of us. And with all those experiences, there comes lessons learned, right? And I think for him, he really learned and understood that he can do hard things. There are not many 15-year-olds out there who have hiked the John Muir Trail. That's not an easy trail. It's not an easy hike. It's a long time away from home. It's a long time away from the conveniences of our modern society. But he did it. And I think he learned that hard things are actually possible when you just take them one step at a time. And I think I learned, or at least was reminded, that our youth are a lot more capable than we give them credit for. And I think shame on me as a parent for not giving our kids more opportunities to rise up and to show what they are capable of. When we can give them adversity and be there not to drag them, not to pull them, but to be there to support them, I think we see what our kids are actually made of, and I think they're quite capable of doing a lot more than we give them credit for. It's a challenging line to walk, and if you who are parents understand this. You know, we want to be there, we want to help, we don't want our kids to suffer, we don't want them to feel pain, but in the back of our mind, we understand they kind of need to feel pain to be resilient and to recognize that they can overcome challenges and hardships, whether those be physical or mental. And the trail's a great place to have both physical and mental challenges. So I think I learned again and or was reminded that the up and coming generation is just as capable as my generation, as your generation, as the generations in the past. We just got to give them the opportunity to show it. And when we give them that opportunity, they'll take it and they will surprise us. So obviously, this is a trip that I will never forget. But it's not so much about the views, even though they were beautiful, or the trail, even though I love the trail. But this experience really brought us closer together, and that is the most valuable part of that whole experience. So if you're thinking about doing this with one of your kids, just do it. Even if it's a weekend trip, if it's a couple of miles, if it might be something as aggressive or ambitious as a John Muir Trail, do it. Because the trail gives you time. Time with that child. And time is the only resource that we will not get back. So if you have found this helpful, inspiring, exciting, please check out the playlist of our John Muir Trail videos here and consider subscribing for more content like this. I love your feedback. Let me know what you think, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.